Hello, my name is Lyons and welcome to Raven Insight, a place where we come to discuss the journey to higher consciousness. And today we're going to be talking about a primer for meditation. I talked about meditation before, but in this video I'm going to talk about a very specific exercise that I find is very easy and adaptable for people who have never meditated before. And it's a good bridge to go from the hard psychological, breathing mechanics of self-hypnosis into bridging to that more spiritual level of meditation. So I wanted to give you a nice nuts and bolts video today. The last few videos that I've done were a lot more personal. I talked about being in the dark night of the soul, and the one after it I talked about what it felt like to be out of it, okay? And those were me sharing with you experiences because I wanted you to see and engage in the energy, right? When I started this channel, I didn't really have a great vision of where I was going. I literally just pressed the record button and went with it, right? And I'm trying to find my path. But one thing that I did have in mind when I started, and I had started writing a book to this effect too, was like a nice step-by-step guide to spiritual enlightenment. It's like step 1, do this, step 2, do that, step 3. And you know, it's a very naive approach. And I will tell you, anyone who's trying to tell you that they have the one path to enlightenment is a little off, because it's not how it works, really. Everyone's journey is unique. So I really, in doing this channel, I want to do two things. I can't, and I want to be honest with you, I can't bring you all the way to the promised land, okay? I can show you my map for how I got to where I needed to go, all right? And we are all one. We are all of the same pool of energy, like the waves on the sea. We're all very much the same universal oneness. We are the same thing, but we are unique individuals. So a lot of what I say will resonate to you, and some things will make no sense to you and they won't apply, and that's okay. And if you're to sit in meditation for 2 years and go deep into this and have no outside influences whatsoever, you'll come up with answers in your own mind, okay? And I think you will find if you go out into the world after getting those answers inside, and you listen to some of the deeper philosophers throughout history, like your Buddhas, your Christs, your and even just philosophers, your Nietzsche's, your Carl Jung's, modern people like Alan Watts, your your Ram Dass's, your Bhagavan Dass's, like whoever your teacher of choice is, a lot of the things that you will find are going to be echoed in the things that they talk about. And why? Well, the truth's the truth, and it doesn't matter how you find it. If you find it, it's there. And a lot of people may describe it in different ways, and they may describe their path and journey in different ways, but at the end, that's where you've got, right? So I really wanted to be very prescriptive and say step by step by step. And I, somewhere along the way, realized that that doesn't really work. And if you look at my first few videos, I was very much trying to, this is the steps, so this is where you go, build off the previous video, and here we go. But the more I get into it, the more I realize the importance of it is to share my perspectives as to where I'm at, right? And to show you how things work, give you the tool, put it in your toolkit, and step back and let you use it however you want to use it. All right. And also, in my earlier videos, when I was describing the spiritual journey, I said that, this is an iterative process, and you'll go up and etc., and you'll loop up and you'll keep going to these levels. And I've recently thought the best metaphor of this is climbing a mountain range. Okay, so like, you'll climb the lower peaks and you'll get up, and then you'll have to go down into a valley, okay? So that climb up is like you going in the spiritual journey, and then you might have that dark night of the soul and you might go down, right? And then you're gonna come back up over that next ridge, all right? When you start, you're starting from zero. So there's a lot of pent up energy in your body. You've gone from just complete ignorance of a spiritual reality, being completely lost, being completely frustrated, being completely burned out. You're going from zero. So when you're able to really dig in and meditate and do the work and reincorporate the shadow self and all that good stuff, what happens is it's such a blast to the system. When you finally get it together, you need an energy release. It's an energy release of positivity. Whoom, it all comes out as bliss. You bliss out, you bliss out, you bliss out. That goes away, you plateau, and you start again. But just like I explained how the system is like a cycle, like a cone, and the frequencies tighten as they spiral up, right? I think you'll find as you go through the spiritual journey, those first ones are big because you've released all that energy. But then the next one's a little smaller, and the next one's a little smaller, and the next one's a little smaller. So you saw me ranting in my Dark Night of the Soul last week. Saw one video later, which was a few days later, I was more or less even keel, and today I'm completely fine, right? And I didn't have a eureka moment. I didn't have some moment where I was able to grasp onto it and the clouds opened up and the light came in and everything made sense. It was more of an acceptance, a feeling, and then a dissipation. And now I'm just moving forward. So it's interesting. I find, especially when you start this process, the universe is going to give you one heck of a cookie and just bliss out. I mean, it's going to be better than the best drug trip you've been on. If you're on a great bliss high, it smacks you like nothing you've ever felt in your life, right? So that's great, and then you want more. But then the more and more and more you go, the less and less that happens, because the less and less you actually need it, and you just feel like this eternal peace and centeredness and like this universal love of everything. And so that's where we're trying to get to. All right, enough of all that. So just understand that in this channel, I'm trying to provide you a few things. One, a community where we can all come together and talk and share our feelings and discussions and experiences, etc. Two, a place for you to reach out, ask me questions, and let me know what kind of stuff you want to know about, right? I'm going to give you this short primer on meditation right now. But if you wanted, I could like do this in real time and take like a half hour and record just me doing it and narrating it as I go with the lights and the music and stuff, so you can play it in the background while you're actually doing it, if you find that kind of thing helpful. You know, that's the kind of thing I could do down the road. But like, as you see, I'm a quick get the information out kind of guy, and I look at my metrics, and I know y'all don't have the time, and I know how it is too. You're like, 15 minutes, get to the point, give me a nugget, help me live my life, and I gotta go, I gotta get back to work. Okay, one of the reasons I'm talking so fast right now is because I'm trying to get as much positive content in your brain as possible in the shortest amount of time. All right, and I don't want to waste any more of it. So this is a technique that I want to give to you. Now, whether you're doing meditation for any higher spiritual purpose or just relaxation or whatever, I find that this method is what really works for me when I'm really trying to get into a state of relaxation. Okay, so here we go. Here's how it works. I've described meditation. It's very simple, and we're doing it all the time. Starts with your breath, right? And the key is, again, we're breathing in through the nose, up through the lungs, down into the lower lungs, and we're going to force it into our belly, okay? Which is really your lower lungs, but it feels like your belly, so we always say, just shove it down there, because you want it as deep in that lower section of the lungs as you can go. And then you want to hold it, and then you want to slowly exhale through the mouth, all right? Now, you can meditate anywhere, standing up, sitting down, everything else. For this particular exercise, you should lie down, because this is a lie down kind of meditation exercise. So what I want you to do is find a nice comfortable place. Find like a bed, but I want you to have a straight back, so make sure it's not too fluffy, comfy, like have a little firmness to your mattress or whatever. Or if you can lay down on the ground on a yoga mat, it works too. Probably just need something under your head to rest it, because you don't want an uncomfortable head. Make your body comfortable, firm and stiff, but comfortable, okay? Now, before you even lay down to do any of this, this is something that I always do. Get your stretches in, like stretch and itch. Itch yourself, because like, I have dry skin and I'm constantly scratchy. Like, you ever, like, right before you go to bed and you're about to go to sleep and you're right about to drift off and you get that stupid phantom itch, you're like, I'm gonna ignore it, I'm gonna ignore it, I'm gonna ignore it, but then you have to itch it because it's driving you nuts. All right, what I like to do before I meditate is I preemptively itch. I just get it all out of the way. Just get it out. You got an itch in me? Where's that itch? Get it out. Scratch it out. Just get rid of it. Challenge your body. Are we done here? Are we done? Are there any more itches that need to be addressed? Are we good? Okay, good. Now we're gonna make sure you got no knots. We're just gonna do like basic stretching, whatever works for you. Above your head, your arms, feel where all that stuff is. Get yourself limber. It doesn't have to be too crazy, right? But get your body stretched so that there's no knots. You feel that warmth, stretch your legs, get everything out. Nothing too crazy. We're not running a marathon. You just want to feel every muscle in your body a little bit. Get a little bit of oxygenation and everything. Just a little bit. Stretch it out. So now you're stretched, comfy, right? You're scratched, got no more itches. Okay. Once you do that, and you feel decent, you feel relaxed, lay down stiff on the bed. Now, when you lay down, right, you lay down, sit, put your legs down, roll your back down to lay it straight. And sometimes you actually have to come back up a little and roll it back, but try to go down like one spine at a time until you're laying completely flat. All right, you're probably going to have to just adjust your shoulders and your head a little bit and wiggle in there. Again, if you need like a towel or a small pillow under your head to keep it straight, that's great. But you want to keep that airflow as straight as humanly possible. Keep the body straight as humanly possible. And again, you're lying down. Okay. So the first thing you do is just do a few meditative breaths. Just 5 or 10 slow meditative breaths in this position. And on each one, you want to breathe in slower on the front end, hold a little longer, and then slowly exhale. Now, don't get out of breath, okay? If you're doing this correctly, you shouldn't be short of breath. If you're short of breath, you're not inhaling enough and you're holding too long. Get the flow so you're oxygenating and not deoxygenating yourself. You should be filling yourself with air, all right? Now just do 5 or 10 of these just to get in the mode of where you're at. Okay, now you're laying straight. You've stretched. You've got all the itches out, okay? Now you're laying flat. So what I'm going to do here is what my dad was an MSW when I was growing up. He's a social worker. And when he went to college, he takes all sorts of classes. And so I was the guinea pig on this. So like all my life I've been going through tests and like procedures and blah blah blah. Well, this is basic psychiatric self-hypnosis, okay? And it had been done to me so many times, but I found it beneficial because then this part of it will help you open up your mind, okay? So this is the very mechanical psychological self-hypnosis part. So now at this point, again, when you meditate, vision, and we're using the power of the mind and envisioning stuff, okay? So now you start envisioning that air going in your nose is light, silver and gold threads of light that go into your body. They fill up your lungs. Now imagine them oxygenating your blood, going all the way down to the tips of your toes, all the way down to the tips of your fingers. And like imagine your veins like the branches of a tree glowing like with all that air, and it's just filling your body and it's glowing like a hot glow of light within your body, okay? And exhale. Now do that a few times and really envision every time you grow up those hot embers in your veins, just like your whole body's just filling with energy, okay? And with that bright light, it burns off all negativity and lactic acid and any CO2 buildup or any impurities in your system. Imagine that light being so intense in your body that it just burns off all that negativity as a dark gray smoke. And that's when you're exhaling, that's what you should be envisioning, like this gray smoke coming in, like light coming in, purifying and burning off everything in, and that smoke coming out. All right, so now we're going to start envisioning ourselves doing that, and work yourself just through envisioning it. Really envision it and work through that like 5 or 10 times, okay? Once you get to a point now, again, we're laying down, we're breathing, and now we're visualizing the light and the smoke cycle, okay? And that's, again, it's visualization. And we're going to do that. All right, now what we're going to do is you're going to concentrate on your feet. And when you breathe in all that air, and this time concentrate on pushing all that light energy to your feet. And you're going to burn off all that negativity in your feet. And when you do, I want you to tense your foot muscles as hard as you can, like make fists with your toes and just bunch up your feet as much as you can. Stress them out, right? And just pound that energy in. Tense, 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 tense. And then when you're done holding your breath, let go and completely exhale. Now here's the rule. Once you concentrate on a part of your body and you've tensed and you've released it, okay? And you've released it, you no longer feel that part of your body. That part of your body is now gone. So as soon as you've tensed it and released it, there is no more feeling in your feet. That feeling is now gone. It is gone. Your feet are now gone. So now what I want you to do is the same thing, but we're going to concentrate on your calves. Do that with both calves. Again, tensing, 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 and releasing. And you're going to blow all that out. Now you should be numb from your knees down to your feet. There's nothing there. It's gone. You work the same thing up your thighs. Again, tensing, releasing, and it's numb. Like your whole genital area right in the middle here and lower belly. Again, tense it, do a Kegel, like tense it, tense it, tense it, tense it, and then release it. All right, and you should be numb to here. And you keep working your way up the body, tensing and releasing as much as you can. And like up here, it starts getting a little tricky, but you'll tense that neck, you'll tense that head, you'll release, and even your face, it scrunches and all the way up until you get to the top of your head. And upon that last release of air, you should be in a state where you feel nothing. Your body is now completely numb. And that's self-hypnosis, okay? You've now like really put yourself in a state of susceptibility, okay? You're numb. Like you don't feel any, like when you do it right, you feel nothing. You are as nothing. So now just sit in this state for a moment, okay? And have a few more breaths. And enjoy the nothingness that is now your body. Because when done right, you feel nothing. Like you feel nothing left. It's gone. You feel nothing. Okay? And you're pretty relaxed at this point. And I also want to point out, I said earlier, one of the problems with meditation that most people have is you're thinking of something. And it's hard not to think of something. By bringing in the practicality of the self-hypnosis steps and the concentrating on the tension and release, you're so focused on the procedure of it, between the breath regulation and the muscle tensing and relaxing, that's kind of enough activity to keep your brain occupied so it's not throwing a bunch of the other nonsense in. So this is one of those very focused meditation techniques where by paying attention to what you're doing and really concentrating on it, you're shoving the other stuff out, which is great, okay? So now that you're in this state of complete and utter calm and peace, right? And you're not feeling anything, now we're gonna get even calmer. So now we're gonna do the countdown exercise that you see all the hypnotists do, but you're gonna do it to yourself. What you're gonna do is you're gonna count down from 10. Every time you count a number, you're going to take a breath in, force it into your lungs, slowly exhale. And you want to exhale slower and slower and longer and longer and longer and longer. And you'll feel your heart really slow down in the beating, and you want to slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Each breath that you take, when you are done, should be more relaxed than the one before it. So you thought you were relaxed at 10? Great. Well, now 9, you're even more relaxed. By 8, you're even more relaxed. At 7, more relaxed. 6, and you keep working your way down. A lot of times, if you're getting good at this, by the time you get to like 3 or 2, you're almost asleep, because you've completely put yourself in a state of complete and utter relaxation. And you see, like, this is all very mechanical, right? There was nothing hard to it. Now you're in the place. Now what? Well, that's the mechanics of it. You don't have to sit in a weird lotus position. You don't have to do anything else, right? You're breathing. You do the one part of the technique where you're laying flat and you've relaxed your muscles, and then the second time through, now you're intentionally relaxing and slowing down the mind. Once you're at the end place, breathe, okay? If you're in a place of nothingness and you can concentrate on nothingness, then do that. It's hard for people, so what I suggest for people who want to concentrate on nothingness, envision a dot in the distance in your mind, a hole in a tunnel, and just head towards it, fall into it, go towards it. All right, in your mind, just think, fall towards this, fall towards this, and you will see thoughts come in as you fall down this tunnel. And the trick is, let them go by. Don't seize onto them and think about them. Acknowledge them, but picture like you're in a subway going really fast, or on a train going really fast, and things are passing by you. Let your thoughts do that, and just keep falling to that hole with the intention of feeling and thinking nothing. And that's all you have to do. When done right, eventually at some point, there's like this inner feeling, this inner sense, this inner divinity that will reach out and it will communicate with you, and it's not you, and it communicates with you, and often it gives you a piece of wisdom or something to meditate on, some kind of a cone or something like that. Other things that you could do, like when you're in this state, if you already have a cone or something like that that somebody gave you, then you just think about what it is or what it is saying, right? And that's really, in this state, the two ways you can go. You can either empty the mind completely and see what fills in, or, you know, if somebody has given you something to think about, then you think about that. And it's always weird stuff, like what's the sound of one hand clapping, or like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, doesn't make a sound. The question and the answer aren't the important part. It's your mind focusing on the question that's the important part. It's through the focus, through the query, you're freeing your brain up to not think of the thing, if that makes any sense. It's like in any journey, you have your begin point, your end point, and it's the destination in between, right? In between asking a question and getting an answer, the journey in between is what the meditative process is about, and that's really where we're trying to sit with ourselves. And again, that's all I really have for today. So when you're in this state, just enjoy it, sit there and meditate, and that's the state I want you to be in when you're looking at your past, when you're dealing with your pain, okay? When you're trying to reincorporate the shallow self, when you're trying to feel, get yourself in that super state of comfort and relaxation, and feel what you need to feel. See what comes to the surface, because that's the idea of clearing your mind, is to see what comes to the surface. Because so much of what that noise and chatter is our conscious mind spitting out nonsense, and we're trying to quiet it down so we can get to the holier, more spiritual, subconscious mind that's trying to drive us through a motive. So it seems counterintuitive, but that's the yin and the yang, right? You deafen yourself so you can hear. You block out the noise so that you can hear. That's what we're trying to do, and it's a hearing that speaks to you not so much in words, but through understanding truth and emotive completeness. It's hard to articulate. It's really one of hello chipmunk. It's really one of those things that you just have to go through. And I hope that these steps help you go that way. Because again, like I say, I can't make a simple roadmap like I'd like. And I can't bring everyone to spiritual higher development, you know, with like a bullet point checklist. Do this today, do that tomorrow, by next Thursday you'll be enlightened. It doesn't work like that. The best I can do is tell you what it feels like for me and give you the tools that I use that got me there and show you how the tools work and invite you to try them. And when you get there and when you advance yourself and when you feel better, let me know. And let me know your thoughts and let me know your questions and let me know what kind of content you'd like to see out of me and like what stuff you'd like me to dive more into, you know. Again, you see all the Raven stuff. I could talk about my more weird paganistic takes on all of this. I've really tried to keep it more into a more rational, scientific sort of area because I'm really trying to attract more agnostic, atheistic type people like I once was, who were stuck in technology and modern business and society and are feeling unfulfilled, just to help you find a little bit more understanding and fulfillment in a way that you can digest it without having to go all namaste, because I know that's not comfortable for everyone. And all I really want, my end goal, is for all of us to have a better life. I want to be happier. I want you to be happier. I want us to be able to have a community where we can engage in this world and be nicer to each other and more loving and more generous and take care of each other and stop fighting each other and stop putting each other in cages and start feeding each other good meals and living a life that we can live in this world. And the best way that I can see doing that for myself is by sharing the knowledge I've gotten over the years and say, hey, there is a better way out there. There is a way to get through this stress. I know this isn't something you've ever done, but you've done these things your whole life and it hasn't worked for you. So why not try something different? What do you have to lose? I mean, is breathing cost you a lot of money? Does laying down cost you a lot of money? If you're doing it at home by yourself and it doesn't work, no one's going to judge you because no one's going to know you did it. So who cares? What do you have to lose? But what do you have to gain? Well, peace, understanding, fulfillment, understanding of where you fit in the universe, a sense of purpose. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So I want to keep it short and sweet today. It's been a little hard getting videos out with all the nice weather. I've been spending all my time out in the boat with the girls and just enjoying my life and taking what I've learned from the spiritual journey and embracing the day and not confining myself to a cell of mediocrity, because that's what society wants for me. And my life is much better for it, and I want that for you. And so I hope this technique actually works for you. And, you know, I hope that you can come to something deeper within yourself from doing it. And maybe tomorrow I'll talk about, or next time I put out a video, because I know my scheduling's not so great, but I'll talk about some of the insights I've come to in doing this exact technique. So I'll leave you with that. And so until next time, I hope you have a great day. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Lyons. See y'all later. I love you. Bye now.